The sun had just started to dip below the Seattle skyline, casting amber streaks across the rooftop of the old Art Deco hotel downtown. My heels clicked against the concrete as I adjusted my camera lens, the hum of the city below barely audible over the thud of my heart. I was shooting an engagement tonight, not mine. "Myra, they're coming up now," called Jared, my assistant, holding the elevator door. I nodded, forcing a smile. "Let's give them something timeless." I'm Myra Ellis, 31, professional photographer, and for 3 years, I thought I was building a picture-perfect life with Brendan. We were supposed to start trying for kids this fall. Bought a house in West Seattle. Picked out paint samples for a nursery. We even argued about baby names. Then, last week, I found a receipt for a luxury hotel, one he never told me about. One night. Champagne. Room service for 2. I wanted to believe it was work-related. Or a surprise. But my gut said otherwise. So I did what I do best. I used my lens to uncover the truth. Jared greeted the couple as they stepped onto the rooftop. I nearly dropped my camera. It was Brendan. In a suit I hadn't seen before. Arm wrapped tightly around a blonde in a red satin dress. She giggled, clinging to him like she'd known him forever. I barely registered Jared saying, "This is Myra, your photographer." Brendan's eyes met mine, a flicker of panic, quickly buried beneath a smooth, fake smile. "Oh, wow," he stammered. "Myra. What are the odds?" The woman turned to me. "You know him." I forced a laugh. "Seattle's small. Let's get started, shall we?" Click. Click. Every flash of my shutter burned through my chest. She was beautiful. Younger, maybe 27. Free-spirited, from the way she twirled in her heels. She kept calling the shoot her freedom fling. Said it was her last wild night before settling down. Brendan chuckled like it was cute. "Next week we're starting a new chapter," she told me, clutching his hand. "Kids. Marriage. All that." "And Brendan?" He nodded, cool as ever. "Figured we'd give each other one final adventure before becoming boring old parents." My hands trembled around the camera. This wasn't work. This wasn't innocent. This was a betrayal. A celebration of it. And I was the one documenting it. I swallowed my fury, focused the lens, and captured every damn moment. Because I had a plan. And this was just the beginning. Back in my car, I stared at the photos on my camera screen, my fingers ice cold despite the summer heat. Brendan. Smiling. Her. Laughing. Them. Twirling under string lights like some fairy tale couple. I should have confronted him right there. Slapped the truth across his smug face. But that would have given him the power. And I wasn't going to bleed in front of him. I was going to make him pay, beautifully, quietly, completely. That night, I copied every image from the rooftop shoot into a private folder titled Final Freedom. Then I pulled out my old notebook, the one I used to plan surprise anniversary trips and home renovations, and started a new list. Operation Exposure. Step 1. Confirm everything. The next morning, I visited the hotel. I wore a blazer, red lipstick, and the same confidence I used to pitch wedding packages to luxury clients. "Hi," I said sweetly to the front desk agent. "My assistant lost a receipt for a guest stay last weekend, and our taxes depend on it. Can you help?" She hesitated, then nodded. "Name?" "Brendan Keller." Tap, tap, click. "Yes, one night. June 14th, room 1204. And the guest he checked in with." She lowered her voice. "Cassandra Miller." I smiled. Perfect. That's exactly what we needed. So her name was Cassandra. Step 2. Find out who she was. It didn't take long. I remembered a comment she made during the shoot. "I moved here from Boise last fall." Combine that with her name and Brendan's social follows, and boom, I found her Instagram. Username @CassOnTheLoose. Charming. Her last post. A rooftop photo. Her in the red dress, arms thrown around Brendan. Caption. "Last wild night before motherhood begins. Manifesting freedom, always." She had no idea he was engaged. No idea he already had a nursery wall painted sage green. I scrolled through her feed. Yoga pics, crystals, coffee shops, and a tagged location. Her workplace, a boutique marketing agency in Capitol Hill. Step 3. Set the trap. That afternoon, Brendan came home like nothing happened. Kissed me on the forehead, asked if I wanted Thai for dinner. I smiled back. Sure. Let's celebrate something. He raised a brow. Celebrate what? I leaned in, lips close to his ear. Freedom, I whispered. He laughed, completely oblivious. I laughed too, because I knew exactly what came next. Step 4. That would be tomorrow. Because tomorrow, I had an appointment at Cassandra's office. Capitol Hill buzzed with that caffeinated Seattle energy, latte-fueled ambition with just a hint of rain. I walked into the boutique agency like I belonged there, because I did. Not as Myra the betrayed fiancée, but as Myra the professional photographer, hired by a lifestyle blog for a women in marketing feature. Or at least, that's the story I told the front desk. And it worked. In 10 minutes, Cassandra strolled into the lobby wearing high-waisted jeans and a cropped blazer. She extended a perfectly manicured hand. You must be Myra. I love your work. The irony almost knocked me over. We sat down in a minimalist lounge area, her sipping green tea, me pretending not to see Brendan's initials on the delicate gold bracelet she wore. So, I began, snapping a few headshots. Tell me what freedom means to you. She laughed. That's easy. Living boldly. Not asking for permission. Being true to what you want, even if the world doesn't get it. Oh, I get it, I said, adjusting my lens. Especially when it comes to love. She blushed, twirling her bracelet. I know it's fast. But Brendan, he's different. He wants a real future. Not just stability, passion, possibility. And does he know you want kids? Her eyes lit up. We've been talking about it. It's why we had our last night out, something wild before becoming parents. I lowered the camera. Cassandra, how long have you been seeing him? Her smile faltered. 6 months. Why? I pulled out my phone and showed her a photo. Not from the rooftop. From my home. Brendan and me. Wrapped around each other in front of our fireplace. Christmas morning. Her face drained of color. What is this? My name's not just Myra the photographer, I said quietly. It's Myra Ellis. Brendan Keller's fiancée. We've been engaged for over a year. We live together. We were supposed to start trying for kids next month. Silence. Just her breath, sharp and fast. No, he said. He said he ended things with his ex in January. That it was messy. He said you were toxic. Yeah, I whispered. He told me you were his co-worker. Her hand shook as she set down her tea. I'm not here to shame you, I said. You didn't know. But I think we both deserve the truth. Cassandra stared at me, then slowly nodded. What do you want to do? I looked her dead in the eyes. Something unforgettable. That evening, I waited for Brendan on the porch like nothing was wrong. Legs crossed, a glass of red in hand, a smirk he didn't know how to read. Hey babe, he said, leaning down to kiss me. I turned my head just enough for his lips to land on my cheek. He pulled back. Everything okay? Ham. I smiled. Just thinking. About freedom. He chuckled, setting down his keys. You and that word lately. You're right, I said, swirling the wine. We do need one last adventure before we settle down. So I planned something. For this weekend. Brendan's eyes lit up. Really? You did? I nodded. I booked us a lake house. Private. Just us. He grinned. Damn. Look at you being spontaneous. I figured, why not go out with a bang? He laughed again, completely unaware of the trap he'd just stepped into. Cassandra and I had spent all afternoon planning it. After the truth came out, she cried, paced, then finally looked me dead in the eye and said, if we're going to burn this bridge, let's light a bonfire. Turned out, Cassandra had receipts too. Texts, voice memos, gifts. She forwarded everything to me. But the real prize. Brendan had been promising her money to co-sign a lease for a new condo, help start a wellness brand she'd been dreaming of. He told her he had access to a private family trust. Except that trust? My name was on it, too. See, Brendan wasn't just cheating. He was planning to drain us both. And that's when the revenge became more than emotional. It became financial. Over the next 2 days, Cassandra played it cool. She kept texting him like nothing was wrong, saying she was so excited for their next weekend together. Brendan told her he had to cancel, because he was going to the lake house with me. Of course he was. Meanwhile, I gathered everything, the hotel receipt, the photos, the texts. Jared helped me organize them into a sleek, elegant folder titled, For Review, Prenuptial Violations. I didn't even need a lawyer yet. I just needed leverage. By Friday morning, Brendan had packed our bags. You sure you're up for a weekend in the woods? He asked, grinning. You've been a little off lately. I kissed him on the cheek. Oh, I'm up for it. He tossed our bags in the car. And just before we left, I texted Cassandra one word. Ready. She replied. Let's destroy him. The lake house sat on the edge of Lake Chelan, wrapped in fog and pine trees, like something out of a Pacific Northwest postcard. Brendan carried our bags inside, whistling like he was in some rom-com, while I trailed behind, watching him play the part. He poured us wine, lit candles, opened the sliding doors to the deck. I watched him pretend. You okay? He asked, handing me a glass. I took a sip. Couldn't be better. He smiled, leaning in. I was thinking, maybe this is it. The weekend we try. I blinked. Try. For the baby, he said softly. You still want that, right? I stared at him. The man standing in front of me was about to start a family with me, while arranging a second life with Cassandra. One built on lies, fraud, and stolen money. But I didn't flinch. Of course, I said, placing my glass on the counter. But first, I have something to show you. His eyes lit up with a hunger that wasn't love. I walked over to my overnight bag, pulled out a small wrapped box, and handed it to him. He grinned like a kid on Christmas. Inside, a USB drive. He looked confused. What's this? Plug it in, I said, pointing to the laptop I'd already set up on the kitchen island. He inserted it, clicked the folder labeled Freedom, and hit play. First slide, a photo of him and Cassandra on the rooftop, laughing, holding hands. Second, a screen recording of Cassandra's Instagram post. Third, a side-by-side comparison of his text messages to me and to her. He stood frozen, the flickering candlelight reflecting off the screen. Then, audio played, his voice from a voice memo Cassandra had sent me. You don't need to worry about the money. My fiancé's trust fund is accessible once we're married. I'll handle it. Just focus on your brand. Silence. Is this some kind of test? He muttered. No, I said, stepping closer. It's a reckoning. He spun toward me. Look, I can explain. I'm sure you can, I cut in. But you won't be explaining it to me. He blinked. What? My phone buzzed. I held it up, showing him the notification. Cassandra has gone live. Brendan's face turned ghost white. I clicked on the video. Cassandra, radiant and calm, stood in front of a camera. Hi everyone. I know a lot of you follow me for wellness tips and life updates. But today, I want to talk about truth and betrayal. She smiled. And I want to introduce you to someone. The screen shifted to a photo. Brendan and me. A family photo. Her voice continued. This is the woman Brendan's been engaged to for the past 3 years. He was building 2 lives. And this weekend, we decided to end both of them. Brendan lunged for my phone. I stepped back. He wasn't in control anymore. Brendan stared at my phone like it was a grenade about to explode. What the hell did you do? He barked. I stayed calm. Nothing illegal. Just honest. The live stream continued behind me, the comment section already flooding with support, disbelief, and oh so many popcorn emojis. Cassandra held nothing back. She spoke clearly, like a woman who'd finally scraped every last ounce of betrayal off her skin. She shared the timelines, the receipts, the voice memos. She never used his last name, never doxed him, just showed the truth. Let people connect the dots themselves. Brendan paced the kitchen, rubbing his temples. You're insane, both of you. This could ruin me. Oh, we're just getting started, I said, opening my laptop. He watched in horror as I pulled up our shared financial dashboard. Remember that trust fund? I asked, my tone sharper now. The one you thought you'd dip into to play daddy to two futures. I wasn't going to take anything, he snapped. Sure you weren't, I said, clicking the highlighted alert, account flagged for unusual activity. That trust is in both our names, Brendan, and I moved half of it into a protected account this morning. Legal, documented, traceable. You're bluffing. I turned the laptop toward him, the confirmation email from my lawyer glowing on the screen. I also added a clause to the prenup draft. Adultery forfeits your claim. Retroactively. You wouldn't. I already did. His eyes darted to the front door, like he was thinking about bolting. This is insane, he muttered again. You just ruined our future. No, I said. You did. I'm just making sure the fallout lands where it belongs. His phone buzzed again. Then again. Then again. He finally looked. Texts from co-workers. Old college friends. Even his sister. Bro, what's this video? She tagged your firm? You're trending, dude. Mom's calling. You might wanna answer. His face crumpled. You don't understand what you've done. Oh, I do, I said. I documented everything. Like you always loved to say, if it's not in a picture, did it even happen? He looked up, eyes full of a desperation I didn't recognize. This can't be fixed, he said, voice cracking. I walked past him, poured the rest of the wine down the drain, then met his gaze one final time. No, Brendan, I said softly. That's the point. We drove back to Seattle in silence. Brendan didn't say a word the entire 4-hour ride. Just sat there behind the wheel, jaw locked, hands white-knuckling the steering wheel. Every now and then his phone would buzz again, muted now, but relentless. He didn't dare check it. When we pulled into our driveway, he finally turned to me. Can we talk? I opened the door. We're long past talking. Inside, I went straight to our walk-in closet and started packing. Not mine, his. Every shirt, suit, sneaker. All of it. You're not serious, he said from the doorway, his voice small. I paused, holding his monogrammed cufflinks in my hand. You made a choice. Now I'm making mine. He stepped forward, desperate. I'll delete everything. Apologize publicly. I'll say it was a misunderstanding. I let out a dry laugh. That might have worked 3 days ago. Before your final night of freedom became a trending hashtag. People forget, he insisted. We can spin this. You're good at stories, right? That hit me like a slap. I spun on him. This isn't a story, Brendan. This is my life. My home. My future. And you treated it like a side project. He stared at the floor. I dropped the cufflinks into the box. You have 2 hours to grab what you need. After that, the locks change. I paid for half this house. Correct. And the other half, my inheritance, which I've already spoken to a lawyer about. You committed fraud, Brendan. Told another woman you'd access my trust for her startup. That alone could get you sued. He opened his mouth, but I held up a hand. And just so we're clear, I added, I'm not suing. Yet. But if you contest the separation agreement, if you try to take more than what's fair, I'll take this public again. Legally. And I won't need Cassandra's help next time. His shoulders sagged. I zipped the duffel closed and shoved it into his chest. Start over, Brendan. Somewhere far away. Maybe somewhere honesty isn't required. He didn't reply. He just walked out. I watched from the window as he drove off into the rainy dusk. No fight. No farewell. Just a hollow shell of the man I used to love. An hour later, Jared came by to help change the locks. "Want me to stay?" he asked gently. I shook my head. "I need the quiet tonight." As he left, I opened my laptop and posted one last update. Sometimes freedom doesn't come from escaping something, but from choosing to let it burn. The comments flooded in. Hundreds of women. Thousands of hearts. But I didn't need validation. I just needed closure. 2 weeks later, the final piece clicked into place. The video Cassandra posted. Over 3.4 million views. By day 3, a Seattle-based feminist podcast had picked it up. By week 1, it hit the local news circuit, not as a scandal, but as a case study in modern betrayal and digital accountability. Brendan was never named outright, but people knew, especially those who mattered. His firm quietly scrubbed his bio from their website. A leaked HR email confirmed his resignation. Cassandra told me he tried to guilt her into taking the video down, until she sent him a copy of the NDA she'd filed, courtesy of her new lawyer friend from the podcast. Funny how the truth looks scarier under legal lighting. I didn't hear from him again. Instead, I got peace. I kept the house. Had it legally refinanced under my name within a month. The nursery. I turned it into a studio, soft lighting, warm colors, a place to photograph real stories. Women with grit. Women who knew the weight of silence and the power of speaking. I started a new photo series. Called it After. Each portrait came with a caption, written by the woman herself. No filters. No edits. Just truth, in full exposure. The series went viral. I booked my first gallery show in Portland by the end of fall. Cassandra, meanwhile, started that wellness brand after all, fully crowdfunded. She rebranded herself with grace, never leaning into bitterness. We met for coffee once a week now. Sometimes we talked about Brendan. Mostly, we didn't. She was healing. So was I. One night, curled on the couch with a glass of wine and my laptop, I opened the final folder from that rooftop shoot. I clicked through the images of Cassandra and Brendan, now framed not with heartbreak, but with clarity. Because in those photos, I didn't just see a cheater. I saw a man clinging to control. I saw a woman sold a lie. And I saw me, behind the lens, holding steady, already planning my escape. Already building the fire. Not every revenge needs an explosion. Sometimes, it's just a slow, beautiful exposure, developed in the dark, until the truth can no longer hide. I closed the folder. Backed it up. And deleted the rest.